What's up, YouTube? ODST General back again with some Starship Simulator. And today, guys, we have some more updates to talk about, some development backend stuff that we gotta talk about as well. Let's go ahead. We're gonna head on down to the engineering deck. So we're gonna take the elevator down as we go down there. We'll talk about some of the stuff that's going on with the development. So there's been 3 areas of focus since my last video, which is about a month and a half, 2 months ago, and basically that's been focused around getting the ship basically back to the point that it was in the demo, because obviously if you guys have been watching my videos, the ship has been all torn apart as the exterior hull was redesigned. The height between the floors has changed, all sorts of stuff. New things were added, like the functional elevator. Gray boxing was done to the ship internals, all sorts of changes. So big focus there is getting the ship kind of back to its kind of prior relative level of completion, while also updating it at the same time. F-Deck has been the primary focus of that currently, though we've seen that on every deck. One of the first things you guys will notice is the elevator, though it does still have some clipping issues, now has unblocked doors on every level, so you can use any level with the elevator. Going down to the F-Deck, we have new floor plating, new walls. The walls and stuff, they don't really look that different. This is an old wall here in front of this panel in front of us with the screen, and then this is a new one next to it. The biggest immediate differences you guys will probably notice is 2 things. One is size, and then the other thing is these little bolts in there. Again, the height of the floors was changed, so the old walls were a little too short now. And as you guys can see, it's actually not quite aligned properly. These basically need to be scaled up, and they're a little bit wider and stuff as a result too. The bolts, probably not super significant. Again, at some points these panels will need to be removed for gameplay purposes, for stuff like accessing wires and stuff behind panels to repair them. So you'll probably need to actually take these bolts out at some point in the future to actually remove these. We can see some of the distributor panels have actually been covered up now, which I think this is the first time these have ever been covered up by paneling. So they look a lot nicer than just some random screen sticking out with the half-completed wires sticking out of them like this. But you can actually see what the wires kind of sitting behind the wall panel looks like. Not much else to say about this. We did have a little bit of work on the planner done. All aesthetic, of course. So we have some river rock and then some like naval decorations that were added here for a little bit of a different look down on the engineering deck. We're going to take the stairs back up, and you guys will again see this is kind of incomplete here. We have older flooring style up here on this deck here for E. D is the same way. I don't know if the plan is to replace this. I would imagine that these planners that were torn out will need to be replaced, either removed, or more than likely they'll be re-added in just so that there's something there. I don't know if Dan is going to want to update the flooring down here on these 2 decks before re-releasing this out to the public, because obviously his goal, as I've said in previous videos, is to get this out by Christmas. That's probably not likely to happen because of a few development delays, which we'll talk a bit more about. But there's also a lot of work, some roadmap changes, things of that nature. Obviously, a lot of the crew quarters and stuff have been blocked off with gray boxes for the new ship design and halls and stuff like that, so you can't actually access any of the doors or the rooms anymore. I don't know if that's something they care enough about to fix currently, because there's no point to the crew quarters. And yeah, the other thing that they'll need to address here, and this will probably be something that they want to fix, is there's these gaps between the floors now, because again, the height between the floors was changed because there's some stuff that needs to go into the to the flooring between like the HVAC and stuff, and this was an update in preparation for that, adding some extra space for those things. Here on the C deck, you guys can see there is some of the new flooring on the C deck. Not very much of it, a lot of it's still uncovered, but we do have a bit here. So I am guessing that C deck, at the very least, the first couple rings will probably be something we see completed. I don't know that we're going to see this for the entire ship, because there's obviously a lot of new areas throughout the ship that were added with this update. In previous update, with the demo, there was obviously a lot of incomplete space, and I'm guessing that will still be the case for these outer areas of the ship that don't have any vital features or functions for the players to explore. So it'll probably just be the first couple of rings again that we see completed. We're going to head on up to the bridge now and take a look at some stuff there. So in addition to basically bringing the physical aspects of the ship up to date, getting certain things polished and completed in terms of that, the other two areas of focus have been bug fixing and optimization, and then sensors. So sensors we've talked about a little bit in some of our previous videos. It has seen a number of changes. Long range and medium range was mostly completed. There has been some updates there, and we'll talk about that. We'll kind of go through each of the sensors individually once again. So starting us off, galactic positioning. I don't think anything's changed in the past month and a half, 2 months since I recorded my last video. So nothing for you guys to really see there. So long range. We're around a Y-class star currently. We were just arriving there, as you guys saw in the video. We were actually just jumping away from Saga at the center of the galaxy. So one of the new things, I believe this was just added today, is we have a new target summary, which gives us a text-based description of the star. This is a single star system located within the dense, tumultuous galactic core. And the system's primary object, a Y-class brown dwarf star, has a temperature of 298 Kelvin and is approximately 0 million years old. I don't think this is set up properly, by the way. There are 1 known planetary bodies in the system, so not a very big system, but this will be a nice, easy one for us to explore then. So let's go ahead and let's click View Details. And sure enough, there's the primary star and then 1 other planetary body.
Long-range survey. Long-range survey complete.
So the long-range survey, as you guys can tell, that's changed a little bit. A few things have changed. It's got audio cues now, so it'll tell you when it's starting the survey, when it's completing the survey, and then it will jump around the system as it scans each planetary body. Now, you didn't really get a good look at that because there's only the 2 planetary bodies very close together. There's the sun that we're in orbit of and the gas giant that's a little bit further out. But yeah, basically jumps between the 2 of them. Now that we've scanned that, we have some more information here. We can see, once again, a text-based description. We can see a spectral analysis of the star, which is new. And again, we can see all this other information on it. 0 million years old, that's mass, all that, blah, 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 blah. Going to medium range. Medium range has also, again, seen several changes, and for some reason, it's not reflecting the scanning from the long range. I think I bugged something on the game. I was having some issues here prior to recording that I seem to have caused, and I think I maybe broke some of the scanning stuff somehow. Again, medium, this is not more I think about it, a really terrible system to show this off to you guys, but basically it starts off at the sun, and then as you scan each planetary body, it goes out from closest to furthest out from the center of the system, expanding more and more of the system as an image. So we now have a level 2 completion here on this, and yeah, we can change a few things here. And again, I'm thinking, man, I really think I should go to a different system to show this stuff off. Let's go to this ice giant here real quick. You guys can see we do have a little 3D image. You can see the ship trying to align to the ice giant here to travel across the system. We've got a couple of dotted lines, one for the sensor, one for the nav targeting. And we've just arrived at the ice giant. It's fortunately not much to look at because there's not much light in this system. But here we are. So right now, by default, the display order is set to parent, the parent being the sun for the system, in this case, the Y-class star. If we switch that to the closest, the display order is the closest to the ship, which in this case, we're now in orbit of the ice giant, so it shows the ice giant being closest to the ship, then the Y-class star. We can also set the display alignment on the ship from ship to target. So if we target the sun once again for this system, you can see the display there is centered on the ship. If we click on display, it then recenters it on the sun. So minor little change there, so you actually can focus down on a certain target. And then there isn't actually a temperature region for this one, probably because it is a single Y-class star, but you can turn the temperature regions on and off, which the temperature regions are the colored banding that appear on the sensors here. Let's go ahead, let's go to short range. And for short range, if we go ahead and scan target here, no audio cue for this one, but we get a little percentage bar. This will be updated at some point down the road. Again, it doesn't seem to be updating it quite properly, but we have a surface map. So this is what that planet out there looks like, that black orb out there. This is what it looks like if it was lit by a sun properly. So the 3D image won't always reflect what the planet looks like because the sun's light will change the appearance of a planet. So if you have a very red sun like an L class or something, it might make a planet look very red, but it might come across as like brown or some other color on the sensors, which is kind of cool. We also have these kind of layer things here, so you can turn stuff off like cloud coverage, day-night terminator, text signatures. This isn't on every single planet type. I'm not sure if that's something that needs to be added or not. Only certain planet types seem to have it, so I'm guessing this is work in progress. But some planets you'll have like a dark patch where basically it's showing, you know, what the sun's actually doing on the planet. It'll show you the light parts and the dark parts, and you can turn that off. You can turn off cloud coverage so you can see what the planet looks like without clouds. In this case, these wispy things are gas. This is actually the planet we're looking at. Cross-section doesn't work. And again, here we can switch between the ship's position and the targeted object, which in this case is the gas giant. And let's go back to the sun here. I don't know that we'll be able to get this to 100% because it seems to have bugged out. Generally what's supposed to be able to happen now is because short range scanning is in, you should be able to scan a system to 100%. But it does seem I broke it. So unfortunately, something we're probably not going to be able to actually do is scan this to completion right now. But we'll give it a shot. We'll try to scan the star and see if we can't get lucky and get that done. Alright, we just arrived at the star, but was on short range sensors a little bit before that, so we're already scanning it here. Yeah, again, not completing, so yeah, some sort of bug or issue there, unfortunately. Not a big deal. Alright, so, a little bit bigger though than short range scanners is the fact, and I was going to show this off here, but we got to switch focus from the ship on the long range scanner to the sector. So right now we're up here in the center of the galaxy. We're going to swap that focus down here a little bit closer to home, a little bit closer to where Earth would be. Not quite that close, but closer than where we're at now. That's a name. We have alien star systems are now in. Now this is just text-based descriptions. I apparently found an area that is super thick with alien worlds. But yeah, basically aliens are in. There's text-based descriptions of these now. The very first iteration does show that these are alien homeworlds. In future versions, once this either potentially goes live to the demo or at some point later on down the road, you will not see the alien homeworld name. Instead, it'll just say this is like a K-class star, or G, in this case, this is a G-class star. It's a G-class star, and you will not know this is an alien world until you actually scan the star, in which case you'll get a notification. We are quite far from this, so if I go here to scan this, it's out of range. There is now a 2,000 light year maximum range on the long range scanners, so you have to actually get a little bit closer to a planet. 2,000 light years is still quite far away, but you have to get a lot closer to be able to scan it. We're going to cheat a bit, and we're going to use these temporary development tools here on the sensor so we can go check that out right away. So we're going to target that, we're going to send it to the helm, and we're going to click on our spore drive, and we get a little bit of loading lag here. So you can see the lighting has changed because we're around a different star type. And we can now initiate the survey because we are now in the system. So it does give us a little bit of information here. We don't have a lot, but basically we can see that there's a number of planetary bodies. So if we click initiate survey, you'll get actually a better idea of what this actually looks like. So again, you can see the temperature banding. You can see it's jumping around from planet to planet in the system as it scans each planet in the system, getting us a very rough level of information from the sensors.
Long-range survey complete.
Okay, so with the long-range survey complete, we can see there's a terrestrial planet in here that has a tech signal. So again, down the line, you will not see that this is an alien world. So when you scan this, this will look just like any other G class of star or whatever class, K class, whatever it ends up being, that you come across that doesn't have alien life, and you'll get this. This will be your indicator. There's something going on here that's not, natural. So then we would go to our medium range. And again, this one seems to be broken too. It's not showing the completion of the long range. Again, you get a little bit better of an idea. You can see the medium range starting up close, getting further and further away from the center of the solar system. It scans each orbital body. Alrighty. And we can see a little bit of information. So if we go back to the long range here, since we've gotten this scanned, if we go back up, the system hosts a reptilian race called the ODST. They have a tech level of 22, and their democratic system of government. Their dominant religion is spiritual, and they are a 60 xenophobic and 91 aggressive. So thankfully these aliens aren't actually in the game, because with a 91 aggression rate, they would probably be attacking you right now. With that being said, they are not. So I'm going to be thankful for that. I don't know if this information is displayed anywhere else. This was just in build that was out last night, actually just a few hours ago. This was all displayed as text very similar to this, but it looks like it's just been changed to kind of the more long-form sentence thing here that we have currently. Let's go ahead and get ourselves a short-range scan here. So actually first, before we can do that, we have to go to this Earth analog. So let's go ahead and send that to the helm. So now that we've actually done the medium-range scan, we can see that this is an Earth analog, which it wasn't telling us that before. There's actually a lot of atmospheric planets in the system. That's actually pretty surprising, especially given how far out some of these are from the system's sun. This one's 40 AU and it's got an atmosphere, so that's pretty crazy. But I guess while we're here, you guys can see the temperature zone there, kind of. Actually, you can see a little bit better. You can turn that on and off. So that's a thing. Alright, so here is our alien world. A lot of these worlds I've encountered are pretty icy. Let's get a little bit better of a look at that. Let's go into third person here. Yeah, pretty frigid planet, but, open bodies of water and everything. Definitely a place that there could be life. Alright, so we're short range. Let's do a short range scan of the planet. So ultimately, again, once this is a little bit further along, in order to actually get information on the alien race, once you're in the system, you will have to conduct these short-range scans. Unfortunately, because either it's not scanning or it's just not completed, and again, this could be a result of the updates from tonight. It could be something that's completely unrelated. I don't know. It's not working properly, so can't really see anything else there. We can, again, pull up our surface map, get a little bit better idea of what this planet actually looks like. So kind of a band of water going across the center there. We are seeing a bit of a different axis here. And then I think the cloud coverage isn't actually working properly. And again, the day-night terminator was working last night, but that seems to be either just this particular planet doesn't have one, or that was maybe turned off with the work on the sensors. I don't know. Okay, well, yeah, so that's the basics of the alien races. So that's a thing that's in now is text-based descriptions for these alien races. That is very much work in progress, and that's probably going to be ongoing over the course of the next week as that gets tweaked and everything. Um, from what I understand, is the alien empires and all this stuff is going to be dependent on their age and a number of other things. If they're more advanced, they'll have a bigger empire, all sorts of stuff like that. For point of reference, Earth is going to be a tech level 20, so this species being tech level 22 is just a little bit more advanced than Earth, pretty close in terms of technology to us. And that's a scale up to 100. 100 is a species that's going to be, millions or billions of years old, and they're going to be much, much more advanced. So they're going to be pretty uncommon to encounter, but you will potentially run into them. The scary ones are the ones that are going to be tech level 100 and then aggression level 100, and then that's just you getting blasted out of the sky, probably, realistically. Um, so in terms of development, again, the goal was to basically have this all out and completed by Christmas. That is not very likely to happen now. Unfortunately, there was a number of delays, some of those planned, some of those unplanned. Development of the dev shed has been ongoing, which is the development space for the game, which is being constructed in Dan, the developer's backyard currently, so that he has a separate game space instead of trying to develop out of his house and splitting his attention like that and having, distractions like children and stuff that he's dealing with, as well as having space for other stuff like specific development of VR and things of that nature. Um, so that has been a big focus over the last month and a half, as that's gotten completed by contractors and work like that has gone on. There's still some work that needs to go into it, so basically getting the internals and everything set up on that with like water and things of that nature that will be needed in there. Aside from that, there's some personal things that cause some delays, minor delays, birthdays, things of that nature. The biggest one that was not anticipated was there was a minor medical emergency that took about a week away from development and is actually still an ongoing issue. Unfortunately, Dan, the developer, did have that medical emergency, so that did kind of take him out of development and has put us behind about a week or so. So, unfortunately, again, we're not very likely to see that holiday release for Christmas. If we're lucky, we might still see it by New Year's, but it's definitely pushing it. Again, things have been shifting around on the roadmap and updated, so things were largely removed from the roadmap in the effort to try and get this out and get the demo updated, as people have been obviously waiting, pretty good while for it. So unfortunately, a little bit of a bummer in terms of the news, but we do have some cool stuff with the sensors to take a look at here. Obviously, a lot of work left to do down in the lower decks, things of that nature, but overall, pretty cool stuff here. And when I'm not breaking stuff and it was working properly just prior to recording this video, it's a lot cooler being able to actually scan systems to 100% and everything. Anyways, guys, that is everything I have for you for today. We will, of course, continue watching development as it goes on, and probably do another video for the update to the public demo whenever that is, if it's in a couple weeks or a little bit further out, I don't know. But when that does happen, we'll do a video for that too. So thank you guys for watching. Take it easy. I'll see you all in the next one.